Everyone. Hello, everyone. This is Skyfall Blind Dreamer. Welcome to my 19th Lucid Dreaming Q&A live stream, which is a little different because I'm leaving on a jet plane. I know when I'll be back again. Oh, but I can't wait to go. All right, everybody. Well, I am going to Tucson, Arizona. I leave in computer time.
The time is 12:15 a.m.
I leave in 11 hours. Well, I board the flight in exactly 11 hours, and I leave about 35 minutes later. So that is what I have to look forward to. Tucson Void Dragon is the 39th Annual International Dream Conference sponsored by the International Association for the Study of Dreaming. All right. And I'm going there to meet people with such as the likes of Dr. Stephen LaBerge. There's Dr. Kristen Lamarca, who I read her book recently. She's pretty good. She researched with LaBerge. I think she still does. There are a variety of other people whose names I just can't remember because I only heard of them a couple of times. Robert Wagner's going to be there. Now, I've heard of him. I haven't read any of his books yet, but I have heard of him. And there are going to be a decent number of people there. There's a lot of the conference's focuses on things that aren't related specifically to lucid dreaming. There are other stuff that I'm not necessarily interested in personally, but there are plenty of lucid dreaming researchers who are going to be there. And my goal is twofold. My goal is to learn what I can and to also raise awareness about researching among people with, cognitive, with sensory-based disabilities and see honestly how dreams compare with people like myself, because honestly I'm curious if there is a difference in natural lucid dreaming rates among blind people versus sighted people, because a lot of people I've talked to, like the largest percentage of people, yes, it's been a long time, I plays games, welcome back, but yeah, the largest percentage of people I've talked to who have been natural lucid dreamers, like outside of the lucid dreaming community where you're more prevalent to find such things, just in general conversation, where I've talked to people like, oh yeah, I've done this before, has been ironically in some really small blind specific communities where like people are playing some games and stuff that were made by and for blind people and in a couple of specific communities, and it got me interested. Is lucid dreaming naturally something that occurs higher amongst people with sensory disabilities? I'd be interested in that, if, whether or not that was researched or not. I think that would be kind of cool. Tucson is in Texas. Boy, Dragon. Tucson is in Texas. Oh my goodness. You're cute. I am actually connecting through Dallas Fort Worth International Airport, but as my total time on the ground in Texas will likely not exceed an hour and a half, that includes from landing to takeoff from 2 different planes. I'm not exactly spending a lot of time in Texas, funnily enough. Not really spending a lot of time there. Yes, wait, really? That does exist. And yes, that is awesome. And for that being awesome, I'm putting your comment up for everyone to see. Yes, that's awesome. And it really does exist. Hello, Run. Anonymous user, that's you. Okay, hello. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to my dark bedroom because I don't turn lights on because I'm blind. Well, that should be pretty self-explanatory. Then already... No, Void Dragon. I've been talking about it since February. And I've told everyone under the sun that it's in July. But some people keep thinking it was in April. Some people thought when I flew to Denver for the day, my own mother thought it was in April. It was hilarious. No, it's in July. She mistook when I did a day flight to Denver. She mistook that as the International Dream Conference. It's hilarious. Didn't I already go to Things LaBerge? No, this is the thing. This is the thing I'm going to. And that thing is starting, well, for me, it starts today, considering it's after midnight. I'm just to show you guys. Computer, wake me up at 8:15 a.m. with 1037.
Alarm set for 8:15 a.m. to the new 1037 on iHeartRadio.
Okay. I have no idea, Void Dragon, honestly, because again, your dreams are based on your expectations, of course, what you expect. But if you're trying to experience something you've never actually experienced before, that's the thing. Like, if you would actually had that experience, okay, then I would say yes. If you had actually had that experience, I would say yes. If you haven't had that experience, I think it would approximate what you would expect the experience to be like, but it wouldn't necessarily be accurate. Excuse me. I have no idea who Pete Gustin is. No, I did not know who that is. Do I live stream often? Usually weekly, but I've had a cold this past week and a half, basically, and no, I decided not to expose my community to that. I just, wasn't feeling so great the past week, so I've been just mostly resting this past week and trying to get myself ready to go today. And yeah, normally I live stream once a week, but the last couple of weeks I just didn't because I, wasn't feeling so great. So usually I do though. I plan to live stream more frequently than usual at the conference though, because I want to I want to try to do daily updates and tell people what I went to, any insights I got, anything I learned, or anyone I talked to about lucid dreaming. I would love to do do a daily update. I don't know if I'll be able to make that happen, but it's something I'm thinking about trying to do. It depends on how I feel. It depends on how the conference goes, how crazy it is. It all depends on how everything's going on. So we'll see. I may try to do daily updates while I'm there. The one thing I won't be doing is live streaming from the plane because, well, yeah, Hola, Hukif, ¿cómo está usted, señor? Mm, a mí me gusta Tucson, Arizona. Bien? Sí. Hey, Hukif. Hope you're doing well. Hey there, guys. If you aren't already subscribed to this man, he'll probably end up with more subscribers than me eventually because I think he just puts out more, but he can also see what he's doing. But his content's worth watching. He's good. He's awesome. Yeah, Sensei's awesome. The only thing he won't be doing is joining the stream tonight, which is unfortunate and sad because I think joint Q&As are awesome. They make life fun. During a new body part, I've almost transfigured, but I woke up before. I think I had a false awakening before I could complete the process, but I tried once, a long time ago, a couple months ago, I think, 3 or 4 months ago. You think the colorblind glasses would allow him to see color in a more average human way? Really? Sensei is awesome. Computer, what is the present time?
The time is 12:22 a.m.
Yeah, I'm almost caught up. Don't worry, Void Dragon. I'm also colorblind. I'm just like devoid of any color whatsoever and of everything but light. So I'm colorblind too. I'm just a little bit, more blind than colorblind. It's okay. Don't worry. I have a lot of fun with it. It's not a problem. You're a surprising person. That is true, Sensei. You are a surprising person, and for that, well, yeah. People are able to join me in the live stream, but I don't just accept anybody. It's got to be somebody I know, somebody I've vetted, somebody I've talked to, somebody I trust, basically, because I am putting you live in front of everyone, and there is a tremendous opportunity for abusing that, and I won't just give that type of access out to anybody. It's got to be somebody I've vetted who I want answering lucid dreaming questions or who I'm comfortable talking to a bunch of people live in person. So, somebody I have to get to know well first, and also somebody I've had to have voice chatted with you. If I haven't voice chatted with you, then that's off the table. I have to have voice chatted with you. Yes, I'm colorblind to all colors. That's actually true. I can tell that the sun's out. There's no shades of it. There's no difference in hue. There are no colors to me. Colors do not exist right now. That's unfortunate, Sensei. Yeah. You got a full pack summer. I have a full pack summer too. It's just not as full and packed as yours. It's crazy. Hey, speaking of crazy, I've caught up. Wow. So I have, let's see. I have one of the craziest connections of my life. For those of you not familiar with American Airlines, connecting through Dallas Fort Worth International Airport, it's a lot like connecting through Atlanta, except Dallas is in the middle of the country and Atlanta's in the southeast, which means you have a lot more access to places all over the United States with shorter flight times to many places that you'd get out of Atlanta. Sure, you can fly Atlanta to Los Angeles, but that's a 5-hour flight, or like it's a 4-hour flight. But if you flew Dallas to Los Angeles, I mean that might be 2.5 hours, maybe a 3-hour flight. It's a little shorter. And so Dallas has its advantages. It's a really nice airport, really good layout. I actually like Dallas Airport. I like the system that they have there, the way it's set up. I actually like Dallas Airport. And on my way back, I get to spend a couple hours exploring the airport. So I'm looking forward to that. But I have one of those really tight connections. Delta's famous for these, for the 40-minute connections in Atlanta. I've got one of these really tight connections in Dallas. I've got about a scheduled 50-minute connection. And that could be longer, could be shorter. It really depends. All I know is I'll probably have something like 25 minutes to get between my gates. And that, that could be possible or not. It really depends, because I got to get there early enough to get on the plane reasonably quickly. So it can be a mess, and we'll see. I've never done a connection this tight, but on my way back, I booked myself some breathing room on purpose. On my way there, I was a victim of flight in the middle getting moved around, and I didn't want to wait for 7 hours in Austin, Texas. I consider that to be a violation of the Geneva Convention, waiting 7 hours in Austin, Texas. That is not a fate I wanted to be bestowed upon me. So I had my flights changed so that I would be able to avoid that fate, and that allowed me to be sent through America's holy grail of connections, which is Dallas Fort Worth. And so I'm going to spend all of an hour and a half in Texas. For the guy who thought that Tucson was in Texas, that's for you. And I will be out to Tucson on 2 American Airlines Airbus A321 industry aircraft. So for those of you wondering, my flight to Dallas I will not be sharing with anybody, because that gives up my home airport. I don't really feel like sharing that. But my flight from Dallas to Tucson is American Airlines Flight 584. If any of you guys want to track that flight, that's my flight to Tucson. That is the plane I'm taking tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, it's today, but you get the idea. Oh, nice. Yeah, Void, I don't think you voice chatted. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think you have. We've commented on each other's YouTube comments. We've done that, but I don't think you voice chatted with me. Sorry, Run. Basically what I'm saying is people can join me if they're people that I know personally, people that I've vetted, people I've watched give lucid dreaming advice consistently, and people I've voice chatted with. I have to have voice chatted with you. I have to have actually talked to you at some point for a reasonable duration of time. Somebody I've actually had to have talked to or have vetted extremely well. Most of the people I've talked to on here, voice chat wise, they're people I've known for months. Every single one of them, actually. DJ, I've known him for over a year. Sensei, it's been what? October 2020. So yeah, that's over a year and a half. Huki, let's see, December 2020. So yeah, you guys get the idea. People I've talked to. I think Jacover is the one I've talked to the least, but I still talked to him for a couple of months before he ended up on one of my streams. So it just to give you the idea of the level of communication involved for people I end up letting on streams. That may change in the future, but probably not, at least for now. I like to be comfortable with people that I'm inviting onto my live streams, just because of the level for potential abuse that could have if you just let anyone join. Hello, Aiden Lynch. I have no idea who you are, but welcome. The stream is about lucid dreaming, questions and answers, and describing a little bit about my upcoming trip to Tucson, Arizona, which I do to fill dead air. Welcome. If you have any lucid dreaming questions, I will endeavor to answer them. While I'm drinking water, of course. What's my favorite goal that I've accomplished? I've had a few. I'd say reverse skydiving was a really fun one. That's one I had at the very beginning. I accomplished. Oh my gosh, when did I accomplish that? Was that last year? I think it might have been either early this year or late last year. Honestly, the time melds into. I could go find that dream where I did reverse skydiving. I wish there was a find feature in Excel where you could find specific text. But I could go try to find that dream at some point. I'd have to do a good bit of digging to find it, but yeah, reverse skydiving was really cool. And then there was I'd say one of my best goals that I've done, two of them actually have been getting longer lucids. I have most of them are over 5 minutes long now. Used to be at the average. Now most of them are longer. A lot of them are 10 minutes. I still don't have much over 20, but I do have several in the 10 to 20 minute range. That's better. Also, dream control is a lot better. Working on my anxiety and dreams and calming myself before trying to do something has caused things to work like 99% of the time. So my dream control is just a lot better. So all of those things I think are probably my best accomplishments so far. Most of them more long-term accomplishments. Excuse me. Yeah, Skyfall talking about planes because Skyfall likes planes. Likes to fly. Yeah, Void Dragon, I'm not showing that comment for obvious reasons. Yeah, those types of jokes aren't funny. Just saying. That's unfortunate, Pedro. It's either me not talking or him not talking. Yeah, online meetings talking is pretty important, at least from my experience. Well, it's also I think you misspelled the word Geneva. My screen reader pronounced it Geneva. It's Geneva. Um. Well, yeah, I definitely 8 hours in Austin. I think that's a violation of the Geneva Convention. That's cruel and unusual punishment. That's torture. Um. hmm. I think having a middle seat on a flight is probably a close second. I mean that who wants a middle seat? And then probably flying Allegiant Airways airlines at all. Like if you're flying Allegiant, then oh my god, that's terrible. I mean, okay. Airline jokes aside, those are at least better airline jokes than the ones you were gonna make. I mean, come on, man. Yes, he is Void. That is he. Politics and economy courses. Interesting. I thought that was my job. I don't know. What are my thoughts on stabilization? Um, well, I think it's a really good thing to do if you're flying a plane and it starts to spin and like you're losing altitude. I definitely think that's a really good thing to do. You definitely want to do that before you hit the ground. I would recommend that. Anyway, um, thoughts are is it's usually misinterpreted. People, particularly because of YouTube, and YouTube is the reason for this. Let's be honest here. YouTube and places like it are the reason for this. People think stabilization is something you have to do all the time, and they think it's something that you have to do at the beginning of a dream when you get, or like whenever you get lucid. That's a lie. What it was originally designed for is for when you started waking up. Like if you started waking up, you could try to ground yourself in the dream. It's basically the premise. Pay attention to the dream. Pay attention to the dream world. Kind of ground your senses in it. That's sort of the intention of it. It got skewed into associating getting lucid with waking up, and then having to do it as soon as you got lucid. That's what it turned into, and that's where the issues are because those issues are schematic in nature. People associating getting lucid with waking up immediately. That's not the case. Particularly, and those associations are actually harmful. I can speak from personal experience there. Quite a bit of it, about 6 months of it. That's that was my experience with that mess. Oh my goodness, that was terrible. 2021. I do not miss those days. No, not really. So yeah, that's those are sort of my thoughts on it. It can be useful. It's not required when you get lucid. That's a schematic thing. People associating getting lucid with waking up. You could be useful to ground yourself in a dream. You could also wake up NDL'd if you're someone who can fall asleep pretty easily. So that's sort of my thoughts. Thank you, Run. I appreciate it. I really do. I'd say my first method is not something I usually tell people because I practice with BS basically with BS auto suggestion stuff like the YouTube what they call mild on YouTube. It's like walking down the street and calling it driving a car. Like I guess you could pretend anything is anything else in today's world, but that's another story. But no, I I don't ever talk about that usually because that is when I didn't actually know a darn thing of what I was talking about. Mm, it's like, but I don't usually recommend anything like that. Well, I'm not usually recommend. I don't ever recommend anything like that. I recommend what's actually worked in terms of what's gotten me results, what has done well for me, and that's been intentions and actually doing mild properly. That's what's worked really well for me. Mastering what intentions are, learning what they are, and doing mild properly. That's what has been the boon for me. hmm Void Dragon, 12:29 a.m. I think that's exactly what I just did. Computer time.
It's 12:34 a.m.
Yeah, I'm 5 minutes behind in chat. Okay, I'll catch up eventually. That's actually good to have a little buffer there. But yeah, I think that's exactly what I did. A streaming service called Who Give Plus. That's hilarious. Excuse me. Yeah, those are bad ones. Definitely bad ones. How am I able to know the live stream questions? So the way it works is I have this partnership with the Oracle of Delphi, and whenever I'm going to do a live stream, I consult with the Oracle and ask, "Oh, great Oracle of Delphi, what questions am I going to be asked this day?" And then I get all the questions ahead of time. That way I can properly answer them and formulate all these beautiful answers to you guys well in advance of actually streaming. Obviously, that's not what actually happens, but I thought that was funny. Um, I have a screen reader. It's called NVDA, and StreamYard actually has the comments that pop up. There is an issue usually because it shoves your name with the time with the beginning of a message. So that part isn't completely screen reader friendly, but I make do and I'm able to answer questions and read off of that. It works really well for me, actually. I actually know, Sensei. Although I think my Oracle of Delphi answer was funnier. Hey, would you look at that? I'm caught up. Wow, I didn't think that was possible. Well, I did, but not that quickly. I was hoping to have a little bit more to work with. So I guess I'll just have to come up with a way to amuse myself until people actually have more questions. So will that be? Well, schedule of events. I don't have a ton of the schedule memorized yet, but basically for me, Saturday is get in, get settled day, and then start learning the hotel. And then Sunday is learn as much of the hotel as I can, meet people, make sure I get checked in for the convention. That's Sunday afternoon, and then all the events start on Monday through Thursday. It's really 4 days of events: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It ends Thursday night, and then Friday morning we have to do the ride to Sheen back to the airport. Got to go hop on American Airlines flight 2720 to Dallas, 9:28 in the morning, and connect there and fly home. Yeah, that is why I have slow mode on. That's correct. Have I built more on my spaceship? Well, I haven't visited any more places. It's less building Hukiv and it's more visiting. Like I have a few compartments that are built in terms of designed in my head of where things are, but I haven't visited as much of it as I'd like to. Again, like usually what happens is a combination of me forgetting what I want to do, or just whatever I'm already doing being so interesting that it's enjoyable for what I'm actually for when I get Lucid to just do whatever it is I'm already doing, or to have fun or make fun with it in some way. Because usually there's something interesting to do. So I haven't visited as much as I can. It's usually because I don't remember to do so. So there's a bit there, but I am working on that. Whenever I do visit, it's pretty fun. I did use my authorization code though in a dream a couple of nights ago that involved a weird combination of SCP Foundation meets Marvel's Agents of Shield villain organization Hydra, meets my dad, meets a vault of high classified information that you can only access by dreaming, which meets an AI driven car that had a phase cloak from Star Trek that could you basically just drive at unlimited speeds down the interstate and drive through all the traffic because screw traffic, right? Yeah, that was fun. That was just a couple nights ago. Hello, Seal Durant. Welcome. So many. How many people do we have listening at the moment? Yeah. Yes, you can ask questions, Sensei. Obviously. Let's see how many people we have watching. Let me see. Well, we have 6 people. Could be worse, could be better. This morning I had a dream where Void Dragon. This morning I had a dream where I was putting on flip-flops for some reason. Mom woke me up for some reason. I said, "Hold on, I'm changing. How did I get here?" Okay. I thought that was gonna be a question, but no. Yeah. Okay. So if you dropped off, which do you think that beginners would be the most unlikely to believe of your lucids? That's honestly a good question. I actually don't know how to answer that one just because, well, one, I can't remember all 599 of them, and two, that's honestly, I'm not sure, what a beginner would believe versus not believe. Although probably one where, I'd probably pick one where I was a false awakening in my bedroom and I knew I was dreaming, but I couldn't control anything because usually beginners think that lucid dreaming involves controlling things. So that's probably one type. I know I've had several like that. I've had probably at least 10 or 20 or 30 like that. It's been a long time. I'm sure I could go dig one of those up, but I'm not really opening that up right now. I did something exciting and didn't wake up. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. I could throw in any one of my awesome dreams in there, like 5:36, for example. Skyball doesn't round. I round in time, like to the nearest minute usually, or nearest couple of minutes. Well, good one, boy. Though I did something exciting and didn't wake up. What a dilemma. Well, I'm probably gonna get off here soon because I do have a few last things to prep, and then I gotta go to bed because I gotta get up in under 8 hours to go hop on a plane. Well, I think I'm gonna get off here just the next couple of minutes. Are there any last questions before I head out? Let's see here. Oh, that's hilarious, Void Dragon. Sensei Huki, any last words? I mean, any last comments, questions? YS, okay. Not I guess you meant yes, but without the E. Not sure. Do I have any planned visits during the event? Meaning, some people you want to talk to for sure. And make some questions to like the fanatics we are. Well, Dr. Stephen LaBerge, Dr. Kristen Lamarca, possibly Robert Wagner, the people who I worked with to help me who helped me get to the conference and work out all the details and logistics and the planning that I did way back in the day when I first started. Those people helped me out a lot. I want to say hello to both of them. Sensei Huki, Robert Wagner's going to be there too, so I may say hello to him as well. I think I'm going to a thing that he's at. There are some other people that there's some interesting stuff. I don't remember their names at the top of the head. There are people who are doing some interesting research who I do plan to say hello to if I get the chance. So yeah, there are definitely plenty of people I want to introduce myself to. There are a couple of social functions, and if any of the researchers and stuff are there at any of these social functions, I want to meet them. So yeah, I'm going to have fun in Tucson. That's correct. Jump in the air. So how do you switch gravity dream? Jump in the air, tell it to F off, and start flying. That's the easiest way to mess with gravity. Teleport yourself into space. It's an easy one because space doesn't have not you don't experience gravity the same way in space. You can just turn it off. Hovering in the air has another one. I mean, there's so many ways. I've actually experienced almost what it's like to be in the space station. Like I've actually experienced that in Lucid Dream number 153 way back in the day. After I took my dad down the elevator from space, we ended up back in the room that didn't exist off my bedroom, then back in my bedroom. And then he went to the den to go watch TV, some sports thing or whatever. And I jumped in the air and just started floating a little bit more. And I floated out into the hallway, and then I couldn't move, like couldn't move in any direction. I was still floating. I wasn't making contact with the ground. And it's what it's like in actual space. Like in space, there has to be like a force exerted in a direction to move in zero gravity. Well, if you can't reach any surface or any wall or anything in space, then you can't really move yourself. You can't just swim through the air in space. You can't push yourself through the air that way. You have to you have to actually push off of something and exert force to move you. You have to be very careful with it because if you push really hard, you can just spin around and really go crazy. So you have to be kind of careful with it. But I was in that state where you're just floating in the air and nothing to touch. It's pure zero gravity. That was actually kind of cool. Leocritus! Holy crap, I don't think you've ever joined any of my live streams. Hello. Long time no hear, I guess. Seeing as you've never been on here. My general dream goal plan for the next 100 Lucids. Try to have one that's 30 minutes long would be nice. Make Star Horizons a lot easier to access. Remember to visit it more regularly in dreams and access it more frequently. I feel like now that I've got my anxiety issues dealt with pretty well, I feel like I could do that if I remember to do so more. Whereas in the past, I usually would get blocked from trying. So that's definitely a big plan to revisit that. I want to reverse skydive again. I want to do that again. That was really fun. Reverse skydiving was cool. I want to actually make it inside the plane fully this time instead of half in and just barely crawling in as I wake up. I want to make it all the way in and start flying the thing. So that's another thing. Am I doing the TOTM challenges? Not really in particular. I'm more focused on a couple of other things like, my own personal goals and then also the conference and everything else that's going on. So I'm more focused on that stuff right now. That's hilarious, Wade. Okay. I no idea who Chris Hadfield is, but knowing Evoid, it's probably not a good reference. You never had the chance. And you normally work at this hour. On a Saturday? How preposterous of you. You're on vacation. It's already 7:47 in the morning. You normally work at this hour. Oh my god. Dang, man. So you're usually working at 7:47 in the morning, so earlier than that, on Saturdays. That's a terrible job. Excuse me. Whoop. Computer time.
The time is 12:48 a.m.
Oh, Chris Hadfield, one of the ISS astronauts. Oh yeah, by the way, I remember him now. He made a parody of the song Space Oddity or whatever, that Space Odyssey or whatever, that the Space Oddity song. I think he made a good parody of it. Should I start lucid dreaming again? Yeah, totally. I would totally do that. Obviously, because lucid dreaming is awesome. You don't have weekends, just deadlines. Oh, okay. I work remotely as well, so I get you. Yeah. That's 2:30 in the morning. Yeah, that sucks. Night shift sucks. Anyone in the civilized world should be able to acknowledge that night shift sucks. Well, seeing as I'm also in the civilized world and it's 12:50 in the morning. How would someone start lucid dreaming again? Well, get back into the introductory materials. Touch base with everything. Recall, mild, maybe wild. Touch base with stuff. And then once you've relearned things and gotten confidence, start developing a practice, something that you'll do consistently for a month. And start with recall first. Obviously, recall is really important. Dream recall is extremely important. So you'd start there and start working on that, and then work your way into techniques and get a routine developed. Get a routine and a practice developed, something you can do confidently and regularly. So that's what I recommend for starting. Yes, almost to my 20th. Probably happens sometime this week, actually. It's been 20 since basically January this year, so I've done a decent number. These are most of my streams. I do voice recordings on my phone, usually right before bed, and a lot of times I'll mild while I'm doing those. So I use voice recordings. All right. Well, guys, I am going to go ahead and head out. So I wish you all the best, and I hope you all have a good day. So thank you all for the questions. It's a little bit shorter than my usual streams, but I really kind of need to get to bed and get everything's packed and ready. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Really appreciate it. Have a good day, everyone. Goodbye.